Is your TV not turning on, but the red LED light keeps blinking? If so, this video is made for you. Whether it's a faulty power supply board, a weak standby voltage, a dead backlight, or a glitchy mainboard, proper diagnosis can save you time, money, and frustration. By following these diagnostic steps, you can isolate the real cause of your TV issue without blindly replacing parts. Drop your questions or repair stories in the comments. We're always here to help. Welcome back to my channel, Fix Netflix. Today we're diving deep into 3 real-life smart TV power-related issues and how to fix them the right way. In our previous video, we showed you how to repair a TV that is completely dead, with no power and no LED light. Once you finish watching this video, you can find the link to that one in the description below. First real-life problem, smart TV not turning on, but front LED light is lit red or orange colors, no sound and no display. Fix 1. Start by checking the power supply's standby output voltage. It should be 5 volts or 3.3 volts. If the standby voltage drops to 4.5 volts or lower, the TV may fail to power on. To confirm the issue, disconnect the cable between the power supply unit and the mainboard, then measure the standby voltage again. If the voltage remains at 4.5 volts or below, the problem lies within the power supply unit, specifically a standby output voltage drop. If the voltage returns to normal around 5 volts after disconnecting the mainboard, use a 6 volt or 12 volt light bulb under 10 watts as a dummy load to test the power supply unit under load conditions. Now, if the voltage drops again to 4.5 volts when the load is applied, it confirms that the power supply board's standby voltage circuit is weak under load. In this case, inspect the standby circuit, focusing especially on the electrolytic capacitors, which may have degraded ESR equivalent series resistance. Also, check the PFC power factor correction voltage on the power supply unit. It should typically be between 380 volts and 400 volts. If it drops to around 360 volts, it can cause the standby voltage to sag when connected to a load like the mainboard. However, if the standby voltage remains stable at 5 volts even when under load, the issue likely lies within the mainboard's standby input voltage line. Common faults here include leaky or faulty capacitors, defective LDO, low dropout ICs, or DC-DC converter ICs, broken traces or circuit loop faults. Thoroughly inspect these components and their surrounding circuitry on the mainboard to pinpoint the root cause. Fix 2. Next, check whether the mainboard is sending the PS on signal to the power supply unit. If the PS on signal is missing, the issue is likely with the TV mainboard. In that case, please watch our another video on TV that is completely dead with no power and no LED light for further guidance. You can find the link in below description. If the PSON signal is present, then the next step is to inspect the power supply itself. Use the power supply unit self-test method to verify whether it's functioning correctly. Fix 3. Keep in mind, a faulty backlight system can also prevent the mainboard from powering up. Use the power supply unit self-test method and/or an LED LCD backlight tester to test the backlight circuit. This will help you isolate whether the issue lies in the backlight system or somewhere else. Fix 4. If all key voltages on the mainboard are normal, including the standby voltage, LDO output, DC-DC output, CPU reset circuit, and crystal oscillator circuit, you can take diagnostics a step further. Use a universal programmer along with secure CRT software to read the TV's startup log file via init serial print on an RT809 programmer. This log file can help identify exactly which part of the mainboard is failing, saving you time and effort during troubleshooting. Second problem, TV has no display, green or blue, LED lit. If the front indicator LED light is glowing green or blue, but there's no picture, follow these steps. Fix 5. Check if the backlight is turning on. If the backlight is not lit, check for the BK on or backlight on signal from the mainboard. This signal may also be labeled ED as BLK on or something similar. If BK on is missing, it typically indicates a mainboard issue. However, to confirm, perform the power supply unit self-test method. You can also use an LED LCD backlight tester to test the LED strips or NCCFL EEFL lamps. If BK on appears but the backlight is still not functioning, test the LED driver board, LED strips, or LCD inverter circuit using the backlight tester and PSU self-test method. If BK on still does not appear even when the LED driver is disconnected, the problem could still lie with the mainboard in that case. Ensure all connectors and cables between the mainboard and backlight system are properly connected. Trace the BK on signal path on the mainboard up to the CPU. If there's still no BK on signal from the CPU, try updating or flashing the firmware, reflowing or resoldering or reballing the BGA CPU. If all attempts fail, replacing the CPU might be necessary. Fix 6. If the backlight is working and PSU voltages are normal, but there is still no image, check whether the T-con board is receiving its VCC supply voltage. If not, inspect the LVDS cable between the T-con board and the main board. If the VCC is present, use an oscilloscope to check for clock and data signals from the main board to the T-con. These signals ensure that the mainboard is sending video output correctly. For fast and highly accurate diagnostics, it's recommended to use a TV mainboard video output tool, such as the EXV2010 TV multifunctional repair tool. Third problem, TV has no display, LED light blinking continuously. If the front indicator, LED light, is blinking non-stop, follow these steps to diagnose the issue. Step 1. Use the power supply unit self-test method and an LED or LCD backlight tester. These tools help isolate the fault by identifying whether the problem lies with the power supply units and backlight system, or with the mainboard and T-con board, including the display panel. Step 2. Evaluate the power supply unit. If the PSU output voltage is unstable, the PSU board is likely defective and needs to be inspected or replaced. If the PSU and backlight function normally when tested using the PSU self-test method and backlight tester, the issue is likely with the mainboard. Step 3. Inspect the mainboard. If the mainboard is suspected, check the following critical components: LDO, low dropout regulator, circuits, DC-DC converter circuits, CPU reset circuit, crystal oscillator circuit. Ensure all these areas are functioning properly. Step 4. Analyze the TV startup log. If all the above components appear normal, use a universal programmer with secure CRT software to read the TV startup log file. This log can help pinpoint which section of the mainboard is failing, speeding up the troubleshooting process. Step 5. Reprogram or update the firmware. If necessary, use the programmer to reprogram or rewrite the bootloader flash memory firmware. Important: always back up the original firmware before making any changes. Alternatively, try updating the firmware using the manufacturer's official firmware via a USB drive. And there you have it. By following these diagnostic steps, you can isolate the real cause of your TV issue without blindly replacing parts. Whether it's a faulty power supply unit, a weak standby voltage, a dead backlight, or a glitchy mainboard, proper diagnosis can save you time, money, and frustration. That's it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with fellow technicians or DIYers. Drop your questions or repair stories in the comments. We're always here to help. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video with more expert repair tips.